The audience must be first and foremost in the speaker's mind. Public speaking is an audience-focused activity, so as you prepare for your speeches, your audience must be first and foremost in your mind and in your preparation. Keep some of these questions in mind during your preparation process. To whom am I speaking? What do I need my audience to know, to do, or to believe as a result of my speech? How can I best put together my speech to meet the needs of my given audience? The successful public speaker is focused on delivering and adapting a message to the audience. Relevance is the process of adapting the content of your message so it's relatable and significant to your specific audience. Egocentrism may be defined as the tendency of people to be concerned above all with their own values, beliefs, and well-being. The audience does not process a speaker's message exactly as the speaker intends. The auditory perception is always selective, so if the information presented is significant to the listener, then that information will stick, while other valuable information would slip by the wayside. Now keep in mind that your listeners will hear and judge what you say based on what they know and already believe. Listener relevance links are statements that explain how a particular point may be relevant to the listener throughout the speech. Now, credibility is the perception that you, the speaker, are trusted, knowledgeable, believable, and personable, and that is paramount in public speaking. When thinking about the audience, understanding the demographic makeup of your audience is absolutely critical. So Webster's defines demographics as the statistical characteristics of human populations, such as age or income, used especially to identify markets or a market segment of the population identified by demographics. Here are some examples of demographic categories: age, gender, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, religion, and group membership. Something else to consider is recognizing that audience members with disabilities have an important variable. Something else to consider is recognizing audience members with disabilities is an important variable when analyzing an audience. So disabilities may range from hearing, sight, impairments to limitations on physical mobility. So when speaking to an audience with members who are disabled, be mindful of language use, examples, visual aids, and delivery strategies. As part of the analysis and audience expectations of the situation, consider the size of the audience, the environment in which you'll be speaking, the occasion, how much time is allotted, and the importance of your message. The size of the audience is something to consider because the number of listeners may determine your level of formality, the amount of interaction you may have with the audience, the use of a microphone, and your need to make adjustments to your visual aids. Speaking to a large audience reduces the speaker's capability to observe and respond to facial expressions, posture, and other nonverbal messages sent by the audience. Where you deliver your speech may be less than desirable, but the show must go on. So mishaps with your environment may happen. It is your responsibility to build contingency plans so that you're not caught off guard in case something goes wrong. There will be times when the room will be less than optimal. This is not your time to announce to your audience that this room is small, or hot, or uncomfortable. At the very least, you will want to inquire in advance about the room in which you're about to speak. Visiting the room will get you the look and the feel for where you'll be presenting. In addition, going the extra mile here will allow you to visualize your success in the preparation of your speech. Your disposition and demeanor need to match the mood of the occasion. With the numerous occasions and interactions we have, there is an unwritten expectation of acceptable behavior. For the different environments you'll be speaking, think ahead and make sure that the emotional tone of the speech matches the mood of the occasion. The occasion that you will be speaking at will dictate the appropriate amount of time for your speech. By violating this time rule of what is acceptable, this will turn off an audience and will diminish your credibility. The last factor to consider when assessing the situation is the importance of the occasion and the significance that it is attached to the circumstances. Audience adaptation is the process of tailoring your presentation message to the needs, expertise, attitudes, and expectations of your audience. As part of your preparation, you need to predict how your audience will respond to your message and make adjustments to your message so the audience finds your speech clear, appropriate, and convincing. The findings from your audience survey will help you anticipate how your audience will react to your message. A captive audience are audience members who are less obligated to attend the presentation and may be less motivated to pay attention. A voluntary audience member attends the presentation freely and may be more willing and motivated to pay attention. Stepping out of your frame of reference and into the perspective of the audience is a big step towards being an effective public speaker and on your pathway to success. Sometimes we need to make adaptations during the speech. So while delivering your speech, be on the lookout as to how your audience is receiving your message through their nonverbal feedback. If your listeners are leaning forward in their chairs, looking at you fully engaged in your speech, and nodding their heads in approval, it's safe to assume that you're on the right track. On the other hand, if your audience is disinterested, slouching in their chairs, or giving quizzical looks, you need to make some adjustments to your presentation on the fly.